I don't know about where you live, but the pigeons where I live are no longer your friendly shit scared bipedal creatures with feathers suffering from paranoia. Lately, they have gone completely batshit crazy. Pigeons now no longer fly away with fear when you approach them. It doesn't matter if you are on multiple wheels, riding a motor with a few hundred newtons of force and momentum. They just simply scoot and hop over to the side with a smug and an expression of great inconvenience that we have caused to them by coming in their way. All the pigeons have collectively decided to aim for our heads. They have abandoned the idea of dodging and flying away when in danger. In traffic, all these pigeons fly exactly at the level of your head, and they have put the burden of dodging upon us. Choosing between the fight or flight response, they have chosen to not give a fuck. It's like they are going through their Walter White phase of evolution, but instead of knocking on your doors, they come and crash at your helmet when you're riding your bike. Flying high in adrenaline, it's almost as if the pigeons are trying to make a statement that they too exist. They have started to live dangerously and invisibly to make their presence felt, sort of like we do. On any occurring pain and suffering, we have a will and longing of self destruction, and the will to waste destruction, the desperation for the quiet to cease existing. One's will to exist and exert becomes one with one's will to wage and be destructed. We have this longing to be seen and to show that we are a part of this world too. We want to feel that we are of significance too, and what is more important than waging a war against the unjust? But we are living in a warless era, and the air of this warless era is different. The air around stinks of complacency, simplification, and generalization. The air around is steamed off of cattle and brings a belching stink around with it too. The air which has the tendencies to migrate oceans almost too often. But never has this air been to the depths of any ocean. It's scared of depths, as it is scared of exaltation. And so, it sits precisely at just the surface of any ocean. The air around and its stink is captivating to the cattle, as it gives birth to the great villains of life, who brings the great unjust and the motley purpose to life. The air and the stink is the benumbing one. It benumbs one's will to dive deep into the oceans of truth. The air whispers of protest, profound and freedom, but it stings of the blood and the rotten flesh from the foot shackles of the cattle. Oh, how they can just move back and forth. And these shackles are not put on them by force, it's by choice. It's their own choice to be in these shackles. But upon closer inspection, there is a sting that's worse, and it's of the cowboy's malign intentions. The cattle claims to have abandoned the gods of past, but all they could come up with are newer, smaller, and weaker gods. It's their love of shackles which makes them feel feared and disgusted by men who propose the idea of leaving these shackles behind. The cattle and their cowboy call them many different names, such as the outcasts, the outfits, and the rogue men. But I like to call them something different. Today I present you the dangerous men, the men who abandoned the gods of all past, so now they live dangerously and freely. Sand beaches of the whole world now await them, longing to be molded into a castle of a new god. But now, with the great abandonment, they inherit the will of Kimbazi. They long the suffocation of depths rather than breathing the air of surface. And as they abandon the gods, the people of God may abandon them too, as now the difference of language is not just of mere words, but meaning. All truths to them now are stories. So now they must conjure, but not truths anymore, they must surpass the truth. The burden of conjuring may make the men erupt as the monsters of volcanoes, as they did in the past, if they are not careful and capable of thought. These men do most often attract their own cattle, although smaller in numbers, and thus these men still are not complete and have a progression to make, and a thousand such progressions to be made in order for the men to transcend themselves to become the complete men.